afternoon, friends. John here from What's Spinning. Hope everybody's doing well, and I am here today with a vinyl collection update. It's one that's pretty overdue. I've been hanging on to a lot of these for a while. I wanted to do this a little while back, but I was waiting on some last minute things to come in. So without further ado, we're going to chat about the latest additions to the old collection. All right, first up, we're going to chat about some of my favorite albums of the year so far. Ones that I just felt the need to pick up on wax as soon as I could. First up, latest from Vane FM, This World's Going to Ruin You. Metalcore album of the year for me so far. This thing's freaking brutal. It's so well produced. I'm glad I picked it up when it first came out, because I haven't really seen this anywhere since, but I picked it up when it first came out because I've been loving this thing since day one. And yeah, it is a beautiful little gatefold. Some really grisly images inside. Love the album artwork on this thing as well. Gonna pop it out and let you guys see what's going on. We also get this very detailed poster of the album art on the inside, which is just, it's huge. I'll open this bad boy up for y'all. I mean, it's one of my favorite artworks of the year so far. And oh, this is me struggle busting, guys. But yeah, this poster is just legit. And clearly, it's going to take me a lot quicker to put it back, because that is my luck. But outside of that, I mean, the thing on vinyl sounds incredible. One thing that I was talking about so much when I was reviewing the album was how much I loved just the big, beefy production. It sounds immaculate, and the vinyl itself is absolutely gorgeous. It's a nice sort of Auburn, sort of orange reddish vinyl. It's great. If you haven't listened to the album and you are into the heavier side of things this year especially, definitely check it out. This album rips. Coming up next, my favorite EP of the year so far, my boys who have not failed me yet, the boys in Bambara. Their new EP, Love on My Mind. This thing just shows them constantly evolving, bringing in lavish production, some more instrumentals than ever, without really kind of losing sight of that sense of evil that they've been kind of brewing for years now. It's a straightforward black vinyl, but truthfully, I needed to have this thing in my collection because Bambara haven't failed me yet, and they've been pumping out music for a couple of years now. Also, an album that I just did not expect to like nearly as much as I did because I've been so critical of the band up until now. The new Cloakroom album, Disillusion Wave. This thing's got some of the best rock tracks of the year on here. Like Lost Meeting, that intro is absolutely incredible. Love the packaging on this. Love the artwork. It is awesome. I feel like they've come into their own so much on this album. Really solid, kind of modern shoegaze and, I don't know, post-hardcore release. Nice yellow vinyl as well. Yeah, if you're into some great guitar-driven alternative rock, nods to shoegaze, nods to post-hardcore, even some nods to emo, this is an album that you're going to want to check out. Up next, some heavy hitters. Latest from Charlie XCX, Crash. I knew I was going to love the album leading up to it, and yeah, I love the album. I mean, Charlie is just such on another level as far as weirdo pop goes right now, and it's not my favorite album of hers, but this is her victory lap here, this album. I still think the artwork is awesome. Love the sort of bloodied backside to this album as well. We also get just great gatefold here. Charlie, we love you. You didn't have to go so hard for us, Charlie. But I definitely knew that I needed this even before it came out. I think I pre-ordered this. Straightforward black vinyl. Love the inner workings. Love the inner sleeve. It's a bloody mess. And yeah, it's just a really great pop album at the end of the day. Up next, it's the album that made me enjoy Big Thief's music. I have not been a Big Thief fan over the years, but hey, this new one is so good. Yeah, Dragon New Mountain, I Believe in You. It's It's a great folk rock album. I personally like it because it's a little bit more folk rock centered. It's a little less spacey than their last two projects. I wasn't that into it, but it's one of the best folk albums of the year by far. Love the inner sleeve. All the pictures, very nice. Pretty straightforward on the inside. We got a nice black vinyl. Yeah, I mean, this thing leading up to it, I had a feeling I was going to like it, but not love it as much as I did, because I love this album. It leads me to the end of, the stuff that I picked up that I've enjoyed from this year, but I also took some time to kind of bone up on some stuff that I missed getting on vinyl last year. First up, my EP of the year last year, Yves Tumor. Yeah, this EP is freaking awesome. Very straightforward packaging here. Love, we got a nice little hole in here where you can see the face from this side of the record. But yeah, it's still such a polished, glitzy, glammy EP. I still love everything about it. Jackie's still an incredible single. Yeah, love the hell out of this EP. Also, I don't know why I didn't chat about this a few minutes ago. Got messed up in my pile. But I also picked up the latest from Miss Mitski, who I've always kind of been on the fence with. But the synth pop album that we get here from her is super 80s, super full of love and heartbreak. And it's really well produced. And the songs here are incredibly catchy. As far as singles go, these are some of my favorite Mitski tracks. It still sounds great. Love the production on this thing. Straightforward black vinyl. This is probably one of my favorite Mitski projects, and I know that's a hot take. But yeah, this thing is so good. Also from last year, I meant to pick this up a while back, but I finally got around to it, and I've kind of fallen back in love with it because of that. It's the latest debut, I should say, from Dry Cleaning, New Wet Leg. I love this thing. This is just a very intense, very wordy, very artsy, and very over-the-top post-punk and art punk album. Some of the best rock tracks of last year showed up on this thing. I am looking directly at Scratch Card Lanyard. It still gets me in such a groove. Love the packaging on this thing. All the artwork is really cool. Straightforward black vinyl. Still sounds great. Here it is. It's an album that I loved last year and I just fell in love with all over again. Gonna round this video out with quite a few here that have just been in my want list for a while. Just haven't ever found good prices on, or just never had them where I was shopping, but they're in the old collection now, including this bad boy. Orville Peck, Pony. I mean, his new album is one of my favorite albums of the year. It is awesome. It is over the top. It is flamboyant. It is just full of personality and love and dedication to the sort of roots of, the glamorous side of country. But this album is what really got me hooked on his music. It's a very dark album at times. It's got a lot of nods to post-punk in a weird way. Very straightforward packaging, but I have just needed this in my collection for so long. Turn to Hate is incredible. Coming up next, band that I really miss because I haven't really heard anything from them in so long, that would be A Giant Dog with Pile. I was obsessed with these guys and gals for so long. The rawness of their music, the urgency of their music is really infectious, and this is one of my favorite projects from them. I just love the muddy mess of this album, the urgency. It's catchy, but it will bite you in the ass. Straightforward black vinyl. It sounds unbelievable, and Sabrina Ellis is just awesome all around. This one took me back to college. This was a big one for me back in the day. That's Wild Nothing's Gemini. I was a big chill wave guy, and the sort of breezy indie pop and borderline chill wave that we got on this album just won my heart. I mean, God, Summer Holiday is just an awesome piece of dream pop. Very straightforward packaging. Love the weird ass artwork on this album, but it's pretty straightforward. It's a black vinyl. It still sounds great, and just listening to this, oh God, it took me real back. Up next, this is going to be a hot take. Paramore, After Laughter. This album doesn't get enough credit. I've never been that big of a Paramore fan. I mean, I've always enjoyed their music, but I've never obsessed over them. But this album here, man, This is so good. This is them going synth pop and dance pop and, kind of killing it. Still love it. It was a little pricey actually, but I've wanted it for so long. Love the inner sleeve on this album. Love the little portrait of the band that we get. And it sounds great. I mean, Hard Times, Rose Colored Boy, these are great pop tunes. And I love the sort of marbled vinyl that we get here. It's real nice, and it just sounds so good. I've been kind of on my instrumental hip-hop kick lately as well, because I've been taking some classes, and talk about taking me back. Flying Lotus Cosmogramma, oh god, this is so good. I mean, it's one of my favorite, from Flying Lotus. I kind of like this a little bit more than You're Dead. But man, this really takes me back. It still sounds so ahead of its time, and like the pressing of this vinyl is ridiculous. I mean, come on, look at that gatefold. That is just awesome. It really, once again, took me back to when this album really blew my mind. Straightforward black vinyl. It still sounds great. Love so much of the material on here. One of my favorite Lotus projects. This one has been in my want list, I want to say, since it came out. And I finally got around to getting this one. It is one of my favorite Destroyer projects. It's Poison Season. This is like the last album from Dan that I really obsessed over and I thought was really well done. And I didn't think that it got enough credit at the time. I still don't think that it does. I mean, Dream Lover's on here. The River's on here. God, it's just so... I love just like the poetic nature of this album and just how classy it is. We get a nice inside lyric sheet with the song list as well. And I love that cover of Dan. I love that picture of him. Pretty straightforward on the inside. Black vinyl, nothing fancy, but it's one of my favorite Destroyer projects, and I've loved a lot of his, but this is the last time I really obsessed over one. And finally, I haven't been able to pick up the new Spiritualized album yet, but I did finally get around to buying this bad boy. Talk about a throwback. It's, ladies and gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. I've wanted it, for years. I've needed it in the collection for years, and it was time. And this kind of repressing of it sounds incredible. Like, you want to talk about taking me back. This album, freaking made me cry in my teens. It made me cry like 3 weeks ago when I listened to it. It's beautiful. I love, love, love the packaging on this. We get like, a nice, credits list on the back that's looks like a pill bottle. It's the little things in life that you need to really appreciate. But yeah, this thing sounds awesome. Take it out quick. Nothing too fancy on the inside. Black vinyl, but it is a stone cold classic and one that was most certainly needed for the collection. So I'm glad I picked it up. So that is going to just about do it for this vinyl update. But as always, if you like these videos, be sure to let me know. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and next time I promise it won't take so long. But until then, have a wonderful day, everybody.